Hi collectors, welcome back to Force Fan. I'm Shane. Today I'm going to talk about something that isn't really anything to do with the Black Series, but it's actually to do with the vintage collection and something that's incredibly important to that line and those collectors. And it's actually the entire soul of the vintage collection itself, and that is the cardback. I'm not sure if you've recently watched Mr. Stevie's last live stream, but there was a question asked on that, whether or not Hasbro would consider changing the Hasbro Vintage Collection cardback. I believe the person asking the question wanted it changed because they were a little bit sick of it. And, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I just wanted to provide a counter argument to that on this video. And I'm here to say this loud and clear: Hasbro must never stop making those vintage collection cardbacks, because if they do, that line loses what makes it special. So this episode is basically my passionate defense of the packaging that started it all, which was the Kenner style cardback back in the 1970s and 1980s. The thing that makes opening a new TVC figure feel like 1978 and 2026 at the same time is the packaging evokes a strong feeling of nostalgia for people who were born in the 70s and the early 80s. The packaging for me is a non-negotiable. It's got a nostalgia and identity to it. The cardback is the identity of the line. The modern sculpts are excellent. The articulation is better than anything Kenner ever dreamed of. But without that classic card, the photo, the name pill, the bubble, the VC number, the back checklist, it's just another high quality 3.75 inch figure. Now, the cardback is the bridge. It's what connects today's figures to that original Kenner line that defined Star Wars toys. That packaging is pure nostalgia. It recreates the feeling that a whole generation had standing in a Toys R Us staring at those cards. I mean, Hasbro themselves have also described the vintage collection as premium modern figures presented in classic packaging. Why change that? Is it because of marketing? Is it to drive further sales for the line? Is it to get more people on board? I mean, let's be honest, the vintage collection is a niche, but it's got a big following. It's got a big, loud community. And if you're trying to change it to capture a brand new audience, you know, potentially an audience that weren't born around that time and have really no real background of why this cardback is important, I think it's going to be a real loss for the line, and it could stop people collecting. If you just look at the TVC community out there, there are many big names out there that actively collect TVC, they promote TVC, they discuss it, they love it. Making an arbitrary change on the cardback, I think it's a bad move. I think it's an incredibly bad move. Now, I'm not saying Hasbro were going to be doing this at all. It's just that question triggered something in me when I saw it on the live stream, and I just wanted to address it. You know, like I said, the vintage collection are premium figures, and they're presented in a classic packaging that is nostalgic. It's got emotion attached to it. That combination is what woke up a lot of collectors and brought them back in. You take that card back away and you do break the emotional contract between us. You know, it's a bad move. To a lot of collectors of the TVC line, the packaging isn't disposable. You know, they display those figures in the packaging on their walls and it looks beautiful. You know, it looks really good when it's done right. You know, a lot of these collectors, they keep their figures mint on card. We display them that way. The card is the display, and it's half the collectible. When Hasbro redesigned packaging for other collecting lines, they specifically left the vintage collection alone. They said the retro packaging is part of the product experience and is typically kept intact. This wasn't accidental. They know. We know. The card back isn't just a box, it's the presentation. It's the way these figures are meant to live on our shelves. The card back separates TVC from everything else. The Black Series has its own look. Other lines come in window boxes or modern blisters. The vintage collection stands alone because of that Kenner style card. The sequential VC numbers, the classic front, the cross-sell on the back, it creates a real sense of collection. It makes hunting the next figure feel like completing a set, the same way kids did in the late 70s and early 80s. Without that visual signpost, that language, TVC just starts to feel like another articulated line, and we already have those. The long and short of it is, the card back still works. Collectors still respond to new waves on these cards, even if it's not quintessentially original trilogy, if it's new media or prequels or animated shows. We still chase those specific card backs. We still talk about finishing the 96 in terms of both the figure and the packaging. Hasbro has raised prices multiple times, but the line is still going. That tells you that there is a demand for this specific presentation, and it's real. Changing the card back radically would risk alienating the exact audience that has kept the line alive. So here's my bottom line, even though I'm not a TVC collector, but I am in defense of them keeping things as they are. It's not just decoration, it's the soul of the line, it's the nostalgia, it's the identity, the display piece, and the reason a lot of us still care this much. Hasbro can refresh the graphics, they can update the photos, they can tweak the colours, but the classic card format itself, that's got to stay. Because once you lose the card back, you don't just lose the packaging, you lose what makes the vintage collection the vintage collection. That's my take anyway. What do you think? Would you still collect TVC as hard if they switched to a modern packaging? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I do read everyone. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. But thanks for watching, collectors. May the force be with you and all your card backs. I just wanted to address this particular topic. I know it's not quintessentially anything to do with the Black Series, but let's be honest with you, if TVC fails as a result of a arbitrary packaging change, which goes against the entire image of the line, then it screws Black Series up as well, because without the TVC line being successful, I don't think Black Series would be half as successful either, to be honest with you. You may not agree with that, and I'm here for open discussion, but let me know in the comments anyway. But I'll get this posted up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.